For the first time, tears filled his eyes when his white childhood friend was forbidden from meeting him. His heart felt heavy when a white shop owner made him wait just to buy shoes. Then came the moment that shook him deeply, when he was told he could not sit on a seat in a bus reserved only for whites. These wounds cut deep. The injustice burned his soul. Yet from this pain was born a dream so powerful that he was ready to sacrifice his life for it. This is the story of Martin Luther King Jr. In Montgomery, Alabama, a black woman named Rosa Parks boarded a bus. When the driver demanded she give up her seat to a white passenger, Rosa refused. She was arrested. But that single act of courage awakened a sleeping nation. Black leaders realized that silence was no longer an option. Among them was a young church preacher, Martin Luther King Jr. Martin had experienced racial injustice since childhood. He called upon the black community to boycott the buses. People stopped riding them and instead walked miles every day. The boycott continued despite arrests, threats, and hardship. Martin himself was jailed, but his resolve did not weaken. The boycott went on for a year, eventually causing severe losses for transport companies. Finally, the authorities gave in, and segregation on buses was overturned. Even though Martin owned a car, he chose to ride the bus after the victory, symbolizing equality and dignity. This marked the first major triumph of peaceful resistance. Inspired by the philosophy of Mahatma Gandhi, Martin firmly believed that nonviolence was stronger than hatred. After Montgomery, he founded a civil rights organization that became the backbone of the movement. Through this platform, the struggle expanded across America. At the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., Martin stood before thousands and demanded equal rights. He urged the U.S. government to end racial discrimination. His request was ignored, but his voice grew louder. He later moved to Atlanta, where his organization was based. There, he joined student-led protests against segregated lunch counters. Black and white students sat together at counters meant only for whites. Many were arrested, including Martin. Even imprisonment could not silence him. The movement spread nationwide, forcing businesses to abandon segregation. Then came Birmingham, Alabama, a city notorious for racial brutality. The police unleashed dogs, batons, and fire hoses on peaceful demonstrators. Women and children were thrown into jail. Martin was arrested and locked in a dark cell. With no paper, he wrote messages on scraps of newspapers and toilet paper. He reminded the world that unjust laws must be challenged, even if the price is imprisonment. The violence in Birmingham shocked the world. Economic pressure eventually forced city leaders to end discriminatory practices. At the same time, students known as Freedom Riders traveled through segregated regions, challenging racist laws. Their buses were attacked and burned, yet they continued. Martin stood beside them. The movement reached every corner of America. The demand for justice became impossible to ignore. The U.S. president addressed the nation, calling for civil rights legislation. To support this demand, a massive gathering took place in Washington. Before a sea of people, Martin delivered words that would echo through history. "I have a dream." He spoke of a future where children would be judged not by skin color, but by character. That dream became the heartbeat of a generation. Though tragedy struck soon after, the struggle did not die. New leadership carried forward the mission, and landmark civil rights laws were passed, ending segregation and securing voting rights for Black Americans. Martin was honored with the Nobel Peace Prize, which he donated entirely to the cause of justice. Yet he did not stop. He turned his attention to poverty, workers' rights, and opposition to war. He stood with laborers, the poor, and the oppressed, regardless of race. In Memphis, he joined sanitation workers demanding dignity. Despite threats to his life, he refused to step back. While standing on a hotel balcony, a single bullet ended his life, but not his legacy. His death sparked grief, anger, and unrest across the nation. The assassin was later captured and imprisoned. Martin Luther King Jr. was laid to rest in Atlanta. His home, church, and memorials remain preserved today. His message continues to inspire millions. This was not just the life of a man. It was the journey of a dream that changed history forever.